So when you shifted from side hustle to survival mode, which is the necessity of the mother of all inventions, right? How did you or did you rethink your business model, your services, your operations at that point? Like, did you just like burn it down, rebuild it from the ground up, or did it kind of evolve gradually into something else? How did?
Everything evolved gradually into something else.
Okay,
To that point, I hadn't put a premium on advertising or really selling my services in any way, shape, or form. It
gotcha.
was, and to those who may say, "Oh man, he's popular because he was America's Strongest Man." Well, let me encourage you. I have no strongman clients left. None. None on my roster. I have coaches who can coach strongman, but I don't even do it anymore. I am
Mm,
out of that world entirely.
mm,
And no, I took it seriously and just started posting. I gave my name an official business, or my business an official name rather, and which is getting ready to change as we'll talk about how things are evolving.
mhm.
Gave it a name, got an LLC, started a Facebook page, printed up some swag and did some pre-orders. And of course, it was like my mom, is out there championing my first god awful ugly shirt.
Mhm.
And a bunch of friends who were supportive. I would say one of my strengths is networking and relationship building.
Mm.
So my time in the corporate world helped me a ton in running this business because I was very data minded. Even though my prices were terrible, my business model was awful. I didn't know anything about taxes or whatnot. Um, I knew people. Coaching is a people business.
Mm.
You can have all the technical knowledge in the world. You can be a kinesiology expert. If you are terrible with people, this is not the career path for you.
Mm.
And so I have a giant spreadsheet and an email list with over 3,000 emails on it. And I keep tabs of every client I've ever worked with, where we met, what social media platform was the main way that we connected. And I learned that if I simply show my face at a competition, I'll get 3 clients out of that. Might not be that month or that day, but I'm going to meet somebody, shake their hand, add value to them. And I never try to approach people to sell my services. To say I'm never going to be one of those who says, "Hey, let me coach you," kind of things. Um, at that point, and um, but I build relationships, so that was my strength. So I just
Mhm.
started building relationships as much as I could, networking, and posting on social media.
That came up a ton if with the interview that I just did last week with Jordan Stanton, where he talked a lot about the importance of community and just being out there. And it might sound strange for somebody like you and for Jordan because he just does that intuitively. But some people out there really have to make a concerted effort, to go out and prioritize
Yeah.
that FaceTime and connecting with people in person, which it's interesting here. You're the first coach who's not their online coaching isn't emerging from an existing in person. But it sounds like even with pure online coaching, getting in person interaction is still really important with in terms of
Oh,
connecting with people and building your community.
absolutely. At least 4 times a year, I do a get together, a group lift with my clients, and it's just with semi-local ones. I mean, anybody's invited, but the clients will drive up 2, 3 hours away, whatever. And just this past one that we had in November, we had like 47 people there. Like we took over the gym, and that was just my semi-local clients. And I got 3 clients out of that one visit because so
Mm,
many people kept coming up to myself and some of my other coaches and be like, "Hey, what's going on? What's going on?"
mm,
Oh, yeah, we're all part of the same. Like we work with this guy and this team. And I had several of my coaches there and some of their
mm,
athletes, which was really cool to see because I'd never met them. So now
mm,
I'm meeting the clients of my coaches.
mm,
And so it's just a good team building networking thing. But the other people in the gym are like, what's that? They're all
mm.
having fun. I want to be a part of that. And so there's a community is massive.
You said earlier your pricing was terrible. What makes you say that about your pricing then, and how do you think about pricing now?
Um, well, I was a commodity, and most coaches are a commodity. So
Mm,
let me describe what 95%, 99% of, and this was me even up to a couple of years ago. Um, this is what it looks like when you go online. When somebody launches their new coaching business. Clever name, some graphic of them being shredded, or a mom mixing some healthy smoothie, and it's going to say that they're launching their online business or whatever, remote coaching, and it's going to say customized programming, customized nutrition, 24-hour access, maybe access to an app, and blah blah blah. And it's going to be the price range between 150 to 300 if they're ballsy. And the reality is, if you walk into a grocery store and you see seven different brands of Rice Krispies, one is Rice Krispies by Kellogg's, one is puffed rice, one is, you know, crispy rice, whatever else, that's a commodity. And what you're going to do is you're going to scan for the cheapest option. So when you
Mhm.
put yourself in a pool where you're just one of many, then, and you're not a premium product, then people are going to choose the cheapest option. And if you want to stand out, there needs to be some pattern interrupts and there needs to be some way that sets you apart as premium. You need to
Mhm.
offer something different. And the simple fact of the matter is, too, people actually want to pay for something valuable. They don't want a commodity. And you do your clients a disservice when you offer yourself as simply a commodity. Um, if you want a really nice pair of Oakley sunglasses and you go on Amazon and you type in Oakley and you see them for 29.99, what's your first thought? It's got to be fake.
Yeah, right.
It's just not real.
Or it's some sort of
That's
cheat,
true. Right.
like
Everybody
knockoff.
loves a deal. Everybody loves a deal. Don't get me wrong. Like there's a way to offer deals that don't devalue your brand. I'm a gun guy. If I want to get a really nice Smith and Wesson um 686 and 357 Magnum, well, I know that retail, I'm gonna be looking at 650, $700. If I scan and I find one for 599, I'm like, ooh, sick. Let's go.
Mhm.
579. So that's a good deal, but it's still premium. Uh,
Mhm.
and so there's a way to offer discounts that don't devalue your brand, but too many coaches are just commodities. And I
So,
was a commodity for years.
you said a couple interesting words there that I want to double click on. The talk more about the pattern interrupt. How do you go about the pattern interrupt piece of
Yeah,
that?
so a pattern interrupt is imagine, and I use this one in my mentorships. Imagine you're um, at the beach. Everybody's laying there getting some sun, playing in the water, and you see this dude strolling down the beach in a tuxedo. That's weird. Why? It's not because tuxedos are weird, but because tuxedos are reserved for galas and weddings and classy events, not the beach. And it makes everyone look because that's not supposed to be there.
Mm.
And so with your content, you need to have some kind of pattern interrupt, just something that sets you apart from everybody else. Right. So
Mm.
one of the ways we're doing this in our business now, um, is I teach a lot of classes on gut health and thyroid and hormones and metabolism. And we do charge for those for coaches outside the brand who want to learn, but we give all those away to our clients. The other thing we do is we have a giant online community for our clients because typically online coaching is very individual. In fact, we take that word individual and we hang it up as like a banner. It's individualized coaching.
Right.
Um, and people thrive in community. That's why CrossFit was so successful. They killed it. They
They
built a
crack the
community.
code on community
Correct.
workouts. Hmm.
And so, for us, we're offering free education. We do lab work with everybody that comes in, and we have an online community. That's just not really being done in the online space.
Hmm.
And it's not saying that's what other coaches need to do, but they need to do something to add value that's different from everyone else.
So back to the pricing piece of it. So how do you find the price point? I mean, I assume you're still operating. I know you have some premium services that are outside that 150 to 300, but how did you or how have you come to define the pricing for, and what is the service model behind that that allows you to then market yourself as being unique or not a commodity?
Right. So, well, part of simply being not a commodity is just simply the price.
Mm,
So,
okay.
even just elevating your price, yeah, sure, it's going to push some people away, but let's just be honest. Most coaches don't want like the price shoppers anyway. They're
Right.
people who are
Yeah.
not committed.
Yeah.
Um, so
Our
for
churn, by the way, at Block went down when we increased our prices.
oh, amen.
And when we got rid of the first month free, our churn went down.
I totally believe it. Uh, people want to invest in themselves.
Right.
get people that want to pay for something, like they're in. Um, so our prices right now, if you do any kind of strength programming for us, any kind of nutrition, metabolic health coaching is what we are calling that now. Um, that's $399 a month. Okay, that's if you want to break those out individually, we can at 250, and honestly, those are going to go up to 265. Um, and what's interesting is when we raised our prices, I watched our inquiries go down, but our close rate of sales went up. And
Right.
our form is built such that it's not super long and tedious, but it's long enough to say, if you've spent time taking the 7 minutes to fill out all of these things, you're pretty pod committed and you've booked a
Yeah.
call and now you're ready to go. And
Right.
so it's funny because sure, my inquiries dropped, which great because now I'm getting my time back and my close rate's going up. I'm making more
Right.
money, spending less time losing some leads who don't want to
To
pay them.
use the sales terminology, you have a more qualified lead by the time they get to you.
That's
So
right.
you've screened out people that are going to waste your time, and now you have a highly qualified lead, willing to pay the premium, and they're easier to close.
Yeah,
That's
and something else
really
that you
interesting how it works that
one
way.
one strategy you can do too with I would encourage all coaches to do this is price anchoring.
Mhm.
So if you go into any if you've ever gone to a 4 or 5 star restaurant and you open up a wine list, a good restaurant's going to anchor that with their most expensive bottle at the top.
Mm,
Like, whoa, $200 for this bottle of cab. What the hell is that? And then you scroll your eyes go down the list and you're like, whew, 48, that's a lot more reasonable.
yeah.
Well, the reality is most of you guys are spending 14 if you go out and get a bottle of cab. But
Right.
48 seemed way more reasonable than, a couple $100. So something I will do sometimes is clients that want more of a hand-holding kind of
Mhm.
approach. I'm like, sure, yeah, we can do weekly calls.
Mhm.
We can do weekly Zoom calls. That's going to be $1,000 a month.
Right. Right.
Serious. And you tell
Yeah.
them that, their eyes get shocked. And I just did this with someone yesterday. My personal prices right now are $800 a month if you want to work with me directly.
Mhm.
So I'm filling up my coaches.
Wow.
I'm trying to keep my quality high, bandwidth, free. And so, but what I'll do is when people, I'll say, hey, listen, I know that's a lot of money. Um, I think you would be a fantastic fit for this person on my team. That price is $399 a month. I just took their, what was that? And cut it in half. And all of a sudden, they're way more ready to buy.
Mhm.
But what it also communicates to them is, man, they take themselves really seriously. Like,
Yeah. No doubt.
yeah.
How now you're an ops guy. How do you think about the delivery model? Like Starbucks and Amazon, those are huge operation operational companies. Do you have a structured way of approaching the value delivery of the service, or is it kind of up to each of your coaches?
So that's a fantastic question. So that's something that we're in the middle of streamlining right now and standardizing the process.
Mm,
We're in the process right now of eliminating as much friction as possible. And the higher ticket that you charge, you need to eliminate way more friction. When you're charging 250 whatever a month, there can be some little ticky-tacky stuff that there's got to be some back and forth on email chains and whatever else. But we're getting ready to launch our new website and I am, working with you guys such that somebody signs up and I want them automatically invited to Turnkey Coach.
mhm,
I want their data seamlessly. I'm working with the lab as well that we use to draw all labs. Um, we're getting the API from them such that somebody signs up, it automatically grabs their information, puts their lab orders in. Like
mhm,
and so that's being ironed out right now is to streamline that process.
mm. How about the just day to day, like getting super tactical for the people that might be curious? Like, how do you even set your workflow up to coach? Do you do like 15-minute chunks throughout the day? Do you have a set hour per day? Do you do it at the exact same time every day? Like,
Great.
how do you?
So one thing that we commit to every client is we're always going to reply back within 24 hours, Monday through Friday, to any
Mhm,
question. That's a standard for all of our coaches. And
mhm,
also, when somebody has signed up, paid, filled out the questionnaire, all of that, we guarantee that you will have a plan in your hand ready to rock and roll within 48 hours. And usually it's faster than that. I would rather
mhm,
under promise, over deliver on
mhm,
that piece. As far as operationally, um, so long as the coaches are getting back within the 24-hour time frame, I let them kind of work out their own personal schedule. For me,
Okay.
since my client load is still fairly high, I think I'm sitting at like 105 or 106 right now. I get up every single morning, read for a little bit, sip my coffee, and immediately open my laptop and start. I actually start with the messages
Hmm.
personally, because a lot of those are kind of one-off things.
Hmm.
I'll get through those, and then I'll immediately go to the connect page and kind of it depends what's on my schedule for that day, what kind of calls I have and whatever else. Sometimes I'll sit there for an hour and bang through everything.
Hmm.
Sometimes I'll just say, okay, um, I'm going to clear through everything to where that the next thing that's due is due in 18 hours.
Hmm.
So I know that I can go do the rest of the obligations I have for my day and not risk missing this person.
Hmm.
So, for example, after this call this evening, I'll go eat dinner with my family, hang out with my kids for a little bit, pop open the laptop, probably bang out 30 to 45 minutes worth
Yeah.
of video reviews, knock it down, and then I have a team meeting tonight.